professional wrestling, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. This is Wrestling is for Losers, the podcast that's not fake, it's predetermined.
What's up, losers? Tried a new inflection this time around because we're in the 20s now. It's episode 21. And hey, it's me, Shoe Boots. Welcome to the show tonight. Well, first of all, our good buddy Koltrane is back. We'll talk to him very soon. But first, let me just tell you, tonight we're going into our first foray into some fantasy booking. We're going to pitch ideas on wrestlers that we think should be booked as world champion within the next 5 years. Plus, we got the news. We got all the same crap that you're used to. But before we get to it, let's meet the hosts. And as we know, this is the most difficult part. But let's just get the garbage out of the way. He's our WWE shill. It's Texas Crazy Horse, everybody.
Garbage? I am not garbage.
No, but your intro will be.
No, this would be the best intro I've done so far.
Point remains.
Oh, I forgot to do. Hi, what's up, guys?
There it is.
Consistent. He's always consistent. Tags.
Oh man. Well, not to be outdone.
Right.
He is. He hasn't watched wrestling in 30 years, and he hasn't been on the podcast in 30 years because he's been in the great nation, or should I say, great nation? I bet they love that in Scotland. It's Koltrane, everybody. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, 30 years since these eyes have seen the titans of the turnbuckles make moose milk in the mat of madness. These raging rhinos rocking and rolling ringside while the retinas burn radish red. See these people? These picturesque people of power presenting pectoral perfection, inviting you to a puberty-packed party of pain, pizzazz, and protein-pumped prima donnas. It's about time, Boots. These buxom, bulbous brochachos brought branded bombs and brazen beatings with unbelievable bite. My name is Koltrane, and when it comes to wrestling, I'm all in at Wembley. Yes. That's right. Yes. It's going to be back, boys, back from Scotland, my native homeland, where my clan is from. Found an interesting fact about my original clan, the Koltrane clan. Apparently, we started off great, and then we joined the Jacobite Rebellion against the English. The English didn't like that, so they took our land. So once they did that, we became broke, and then we became known as sheep stealers. So, and that's pretty much stayed to today. So we started off great, and now we're sheep stealers. That goes with the Koltrane clan, and it still persists. I went to a restaurant, and the waiter was like, "No, you can get your own lamb. You're not taking my lamb." You know, it was crazy. I couldn't even order lamb at a restaurant.
I think you're not allowed to go to petting zoos. Right?
Yes, exactly. They won't allow us. The Koltrane clan is not allowed near any wild stock, anything whatsoever. So it was crazy, but it was excellent. Scotland is absolutely beautiful. It was amazing. Still jet lagged, but had an incredible time. So thank you. And a big shout out to Manny for, as always, being a total pro, being absolutely amazing while I was gone. So thank you, Manny, as always bringing it, always a total professional. So great show, guys. Really enjoyed the last two. So thank you so much.
Cool.
Now the important question. How's Drew?
How's Drew Barrymore? Oh, Drew McIntyre. Yes.
No. I want about Barrymore.
Barrymore. Apparently she's crossing picket lines, boys.
Oh, is she?
She's crossing picket lines. People are not too happy with Barrymore these days. The big strike's happening, but she's doing her show anyway, and there's big protests outside the Drew Barrymore studio. People are not happy.
Well,
yes.
It's a talk show, right?
Yes, it's a talk show.
I could see it's a gray area, right? Because typically the hosts will keep doing their show without writers. It's happened in the past, right?
Yeah, but they tend to like writers write their monologues, they're
Yeah.
opening, the jokes, the different things. So I guess she's going to go sans writers, no writers, but a lot of anger. People not happy with the Barrymore, but the McIntyre was fantastic. He wanted to say hello to you, Tex, in particular, and he let me touch his sword. Yeah, he did. It was amazing. Yeah,
Whoa.
I touched his sword. I touched his sword. Yeah.
Is
In
it-
fact, can I say that on stream? Can I say that on? Are we allowed to say that here?
Yeah, innuendo is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not innuendo. It was his actual sword. All right, there's no innuendo here.
Was
It's
the
not
sword-
a metaphor for
Okay,
something
fine.
else.
Just was
All
the
right.
sword circumcised?
Oh my God, that's right. Definitely right. Solid steel. Yes, it was definitely a two-hander. Let me tell you that.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now. Two-handed blade.
All right.
Yeah, it was excellent. But it feels good to be back. I'm really happy. So great to be back. So thank you.
Cool. Well, welcome back. And yeah, it's been a crazy time. Little bit of stuff happened with CM Punk while you were away.
Yeah. Right? Just a
It's-
little bit, a wee bit.
It's almost I wouldn't want to take your trip away from you, and it was great to have Manny on. But I think I even mentioned last week, it was a bit of a shame that you weren't there to get the bookend, right?
Right. Yes. I like in my entire wrestling career, I've seen the beginning and end of CM Punk's career with AEW. It's amazing. We're only we're on episode 20, 21.
Yeah.
I've seen his entire career in AEW, the beginning, middle, and end.
Well, I am certain we've not heard the last of him, but I think we've heard the
Right.
last of him in AEW, at least for
Yeah.
the foreseeable future.
I got to tell you, CM Punk. So here's my quick take. Here's my quick, soft, watery, ice cold take on CM Punk, right? So he did that interview with Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
And he talked about, oh, well, I tried to communicate, and I'm like this great guy behind the stage, and I'm like this, I inspire everyone, and I'm great, and I did everything I could. And Shoe Boots and me, I don't remember about Tex, but we're like, I think CM Punk actually might be a decent guy. I think he's probably a good guy. I think maybe he's just misunderstood. Look at this great interview with Sports Illustrated. And now I'm realizing he might actually be a douchebag. It's just possible. He might actually be a douchebag. There's a definite high chance of that actually being real.
Yeah, I'd say at the very least he's got some issues he's got to work out, but I think
Yes.
his ego is just out of control. I think
Yeah.
is ultimately what it is.
It's cash and checks his body can't cash, or
Yeah.
whatever the line is.
I mean, the shame of it is like there's some people that are just easy to hate, and for me, he's not that guy. Like, I like him as a wrestler. I like his character. He's been involved with in the short time that I've seen him, some amazing story arcs, some amazing matches. He's got the brass to stand up for what he believes in and let the crowd boo him when he stands up for, he's an advocate for abortion rights, for trans rights, for these things, and he just
Right.
he just stands his ground on what he owns, on what he believes, and I have so much respect for that. But there's a flip side to that.
Yes.
When you stand your ground for what you believe, and you're a douchebag,
Right.
it's a problem.
And what you believe is choking somebody out in front of the owner of AEW. At least that's one of the rumors that I heard. And that he attacked Tony Khan, and then he suplexed Tony Khan and then threw him in a headlock.
I mean, we'll never
insanity.
know. We'll never know for sure. However, unlike the previous brawl,
Yes.
brawl out, this is brawl in, I guess.
Yes.
There were tons of witnesses. So the story that's leaked out is much more likely to be at least close to accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it does sound like, in fact, that he did attack Jungle Boy, who may or may not have gotten his face first, but you can't be like, well, he got in my face, so I have a right to punch him. That's just not how Earth works,
Right. The rules established by human beings on this planet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
I think
That's not how Earth works. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we're getting all our news by these AEW shills.
Oh boy.
All these AEW people getting paychecks from Tony.
Mm.
Someone needs to defend CM Punk. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, there's a huge shortage of people defending CM Punk. Right?
True.
Like,
No one
There's
is coming to
not
that
enough.
guy's defense. You're right. He's all alone. He's
There's
all
one,
alone.
and he's the greatest in the wrestling business, Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. Well, stay
Oh,
tuned.
boy.
We're going to have a little announcement about Jim Cornette at the end of the show. But yes, it is true. Jim Cornette is an ardent defender of his. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll dive into the news in a sec. Just talk a little bit about this week in wrestling. You know what's funny? I watched everything this week. I watched it all. And I
Nice.
had a lot of trouble remembering what the hell happened because there's just so much damn wrestling.
Right.
I had to like review the shows before the show here to remind myself.
Right.
But I mean, if there's any highlights that stuck out to you guys, feel free to jump in. But it's kind of a slow moving time news wise on like the storyline front for both major companies, but good wrestling happening for both major companies, it seems.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was really excited. Collision over the weekend, we finally got Jade Cargill came back, and she hasn't been on
Nice.
since you and I saw her lose her title at Double or Nothing. And there was a
Statlander.
lot of speculation that she was not going to continue wrestling, that she was going to either quit wrestling or maybe go to WWE, like her contract was up, but she's back, and I think she's awesome. So I think that's good.
Yeah. And for me, man, I saw the queen. The queen might finally be descended from her throne. And I'm talking about Cherie and Felicia on the latest episode of Big Brother. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
It's unbelievable. Felicia she's in trouble. She's in trouble. And Cherie is next. She's a survivor. She thinks she's got this whole game under control. They see right through it. They see right through it. Her time ruling is coming to an end. Julie Chen Moonves is going to lead us to the promised land. And we're going to get there. Oh, you mean wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean wrestling?
I missed you.
I miss you too, Tex. I did, buddy. I missed you guys. I really did. I was like, oh, I miss these guys. I do very much.
I missed you, but it doesn't feel like it right now.
Right. It hasn't really hit you. Hasn't really hit you yet. More regret than anything else right now. Yeah. No, good stuff. But I didn't see as much wrestling this week because, again, just recovering from Scotland. But so how did Jade Cargill do? How was she? Did she wrestle? Was there a match?
No, she made a surprise entrance. So Chris Statlander, who got her title,
Love Statlander.
was wrestling, and she won her match. And then she was attacked after the match by the people. I can't remember for the life of me who she was wrestling, but Jade Cargill came out and saved her and helped her.
Wow.
And then she went to shake her hand. And then when she shook her hand, Jade Cargill destroyed her and picked up her belt. And she's like, I'm taking it back. Like, so Jade Cargill's going to try to recapture her title, it looks like.
Oh my
Which is
gosh.
cool because we could debate what would be the better way to go for who should win the match, but Chris Statlander did not get a clean win, right? She came out after Jade Cargill had already wrestled a whole match and won pretty quickly because Jade Cargill's lawyer made that open challenge or something.
That's
like
right.
that. Smart
There's no
Mark
one
Sterling.
else. There's no one else.
Yeah, there's no one else.
And then here comes Statlander. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Such an amazing moment.
So I'm excited.
While you were getting chicken tenders.
Yes, I was getting chicken tenders. Chris Statlander came back while I was getting chicken tenders.
Yes, exactly. At the live event in Las Vegas. Yes, correct.
Were they worth it though?
I mean, in hindsight, I could pick a different part of the show to get chicken tenders, but
Yeah. I mean, they're stadium tendies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stadium tendies.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
So
could go
I
either way.
watched
7-Eleven grade at least.
Yeah.
I watched WWE. I'm a WWE shill.
Yes.
I also watched the Kurt Angle documentary, Angle, and that was the best wrestling I watched this weekend. That documentary is so good. Oh,
How does it compare to the Cody Rhodes documentary? Because you love that Cody Rhodes documentary.
I was thinking this, right?
Mm.
I got a little emotional with the Kurt Angle one.
It's true. It's
Thought-
true.
Are you going to start crying right now?
No.
Oh my gosh!
You
All
don't
right,
even
for
get
the
the
audience,
joke. Coltrane doesn't get the joke.
what did you say?
I said it's true. It's true. That's Kurt Angle's catchphrase.
Oh, jeez. Well, I don't know that. I don't know that. What's your angle? I don't get it. What's your angle?
I thought because it goes through his whole career because obviously he's done, and Cody didn't have the same downside with like drugs and addiction. So Kurt telling all that stuff got really emotional. And Cody, I felt like the Cody Rhodes documentary was more of like appraising him, like this is how great he for what he's done. I thought the Kurt was just so honest and talking about all the down and the ups and all the Olympics stuff. It was really good. It was so good.
That's awesome.
Recommend it.
I hope we get a chance to introduce you to guys like Kurt Angle at some point, Coltrane. He is one of the all-time great heels. He was I think he won an Olympic medal in the Atlanta Olympics, right? 96. So he's an American gold medalist. Is it gold he won?
Yes, he won gold with the broken neck.
So like he in real life is this amazing athlete, and then he shows up on WWE, and the first time out of the gate, he just takes a dump on the audience, like about citing like illiteracy statistics of the city he's in, and like and he's like, it's true. You guys are really not. And he did this whole angle of like he's like gonna be a hero for this trash that watches wrestling. It's so good.
Right. Because the name sounds very familiar. Wasn't he the star of Jim Cotta? Or am I thinking somebody else?
I don't know what that is.
Never heard of Jim Cotta?
Never heard of that.
One of the great classics of all time, Jim Cotta. It's the movie that combines gymnastics and karate. Jim Cotta? You haven't seen that? All right, I might be aging myself.
What do you
possibly.
do with your time?
I have a lot of time on my hands. All right, so watch a guy on a pommel horse kill everyone in the village of the crazies. It's amazing.
You're watching Big Brother and
yes, and Jim Cotta.
Yeah, basketball or whatever. And...
Yeah, there's people out there right now that have seen Jim Cotta and they know what I'm talking about. They're giving me the thumbs up right back at you.
Okay.
Thumbs up to Jim Cotta.
All right,
look it up. It's a classic.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm guessing that's not the same Kurt Angle.
Nope.
No.
I mean, it might be.
All right.
Yeah, no. Some interesting stuff happening, like that they've moved Jey Uso over to Raw, so like the Bloodline storyline is officially on ice right now. So that's kind of interesting.
That is big.
LA Knight is on fire, but we'll get into that in a sec. Let's jump into the news because our main story tonight is LA Knight. Now we've heard this before, is set for a mega push. And the difference this time is that we're actually seeing evidence of it on TV. First of all, he's actually winning matches now, but also it is said to be that he's in the final stages of negotiating a long-term contract extension for as many as 5 years, which actually would make sense that WWE would want to lock him down before they put a big belt on him. So interesting. I hope he gets it. He deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that WWE is going to push him if they don't have a contract.
It would seem wise to get it. Yeah, I mean, this is, as far as we know, this is the same fight that Tony Khan had with MJF a year ago when MJF wanted to push but refused to extend his contract, which is why I believe that he actually did, but because now he's the champion.
Now, do you guys think that LA Knight, I mean, from what I've seen, he's really earned this? I mean, he's worked his tail off, right?
He's, I mean, he's awesome. He's got the charisma. He's been around. He's paid his dues, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
If I'm gonna like grade him as a wrestler, I'd say he's good. Like he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's gonna blow my mind in a wrestling match, but I could be wrong. Would love to see it. But he's just amazing on the mic, and there is so much room for that, right? Like,
yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, how many guys, especially in AEW, how many guys do you see that are just amazing in the ring, but they just don't have the mic skills? And it's like, it's too bad, you know?
I don't know. Hook is pretty great on the mic.
Yeah,
Hook is pretty amazing on the mic. I mean, I will say, of anyone.
that's a good point.
Just say. Something to think about.
I like how his dad is, his dad is Taz, right? The announcer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, who won't shut up.
Exactly. I wonder, like, if he's got the same voice or like, what an interesting angle to be like, all right, you're just not going to speak.
Yeah.
I guess, does that make it mysterious? Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
What's he called? The cold-hearted handsome devil? Is that what the handsome cold-hearted
Right.
devil? I can't remember what they call him. But people love Hook. So good for him.
Yeah.
Hook is a good movie.
Yes, the people do love Hook.
I
Yeah,
love that
that's a
movie.
great
Looky, I got hooky, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right.
Bangarang!
Yes.
Yeah. I get
Yes, exactly.
it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're all about 1991 movie references here on Wrestling is for Losers.
That's right. That and Jim Cotta, we're good to go.
Jim Cotta,
So,
yeah.
so that's interesting what you said too. So let me just ask this real quick. The Rock, right? Famous, obviously. I was not around during the Attitude Era. The Rock, incredible on the mic. He also seemed pretty incredible in the ring, right? I mean, he brought it both.
He was pretty good, but he often, like, I mean, my opinion would be that I would rank him relatively high. And he also, the one thing he did that remains to be seen with LA Knight is, like, he would always have a good match, but when those big moments came, he really stepped up. Like, there are some moments where, like, he had amazing matches when he really needed to, when it was really important.
It's awesome.
Yeah. What do you think, Tex?
I wouldn't call him a technician.
No.
But I think he's the way he was able to use his presence and on the mic and just in the match was second to none. And that's kind of what LA Knights kind of took from him and Stone Cold. He's a little stiff, the LA Knight is, but I'm sorry, especially for WWE, the wrestling comes second. If you can do everything else, you can be an okay wrestler and get away with it.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean, the best wrestler in the company is not the champs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you can say Rollins, but
Rollins is a pretty good wrestler. I've never really sat down and thought who would I rank the top wrestler in WWE, but Rollins.
Logan
is
Paul.
Logan Paul.
It's not Roman.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Roman. It's not. It wasn't
It's
John
not
Cena.
Roman. Yeah.
John Cena was the biggest star for years, and he had he had 5 moves.
Yeah.
If you ever go watch a John Cena match, it's literally 5 moves. But
same with Hogan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, next story. We've been talking about this for a while, and it finally happened. Gunther.
Yes.
Has now set the record for the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time. He has defeated the Honky Tonk Man's previous record of 454 days. He can now lose the belt.
Yes, it's now okay.
Yes.
Right. I wish I knew that. Gunther screwed me because I thought he was going to lose.
Oh, yeah, we did
like,
a prediction. Yeah.
We did. You're like, Cole, no, he's too close to the record. There's no way he's going to lose right now. There's no way.
You're like, what? Yeah. No, great. I mean, Gunther's great. I love this guy, and I love the whole Imperium thing. I love Kaiser, Ludwig Kaiser, I think is like,
oh, he's the best.
I mean, and he's in such a good spot as a henchman, right? Like, I mean, there's part of me that says I would love to someday see him get his own push, but there's another part of me that says, like, don't ever push him because he's so good as like a goon, you know? So
as a second in command.
Yeah.
I caught myself after the last pay-per-view he was in trying to do that with my jacket.
The thing he does
twist.
with Gunther's jacket.
Yeah.
Little twirl thing.
I don't know what he
couldn't do
does.
it.
Somebody does it with his finger. That's just so perfect.
It's so cool looking.
Yeah.
Work on that, Tex. Come on,
I'm
man. Next
working on
show.
it.
Next
I'm working
show.
on it. Yeah, next show. Hand me your jacket, shoe.
All right. We'll practice when we get together in November.
Yes.
We're all going to BlizzCon. I know because of our video game history, some of our audience has a crossover with wrestling and World of Warcraft. So
Losers.
we don't really talk about that on this show. But if you happen to be one of those people, I think we're Tex and I are confirmed for being at BlizzCon. So we'd love to see you, even under the context of wrestling is for losers. So
I'll be there as well.
all right, there. I didn't want to speak for you.
There it is.
All right.
If you come up to me, I will not acknowledge you. I will call security and tell them to get these peasants away from me.
What if Roman Reigns comes up to you?
He's a peasant too.
Oh my
Get
god!
out of here.
Spear.
Yeah, spear
I
in the
would-
convention center. That'll be great.
I would bow down.
All
You're
right.
my tribal chief.
Last bit of WWE news, just a little footnote here. Endeavor merger is expected to complete September 12th, which is, I believe, tomorrow. As of this, we're recording on September 11th. And layoffs are widely expected, as happens often with mergers. It's unclear if this will affect the talent. Now, of course, a lot of mergers result in layoffs because of redundancy, right? We don't need 2 payroll departments. We don't need, et cetera. But the question is, that's been on everybody's mind, like, is WWE been holding on to their talent till this merger completes? And are they going to let some people go? I don't know.
Yeah. So in other words, they were holding on to them to increase their value. Like, look how much we have and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like, I don't totally understand it, but I understand that this is a thing that companies do. Like, when they're in the process of merging, they don't want to change anything. Like, just
Right.
Like, there's a hiring freeze and there's generally a firing freeze. Now, there's exceptions to both of those things, but generally speaking, like, we're trying to keep this company exactly as it is when it was approved for the merger. So let's just not touch anything. But
We'll have to remember that when we merge with Warcraft is for losers. We'll have to
Right.
remember that. When we merge with them, then we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Right. I think I might get let go in that merger, though, unfortunately.
yeah, they already have a Big Brother review.
Exactly. And Temptation Island and Below Deck. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Dang.
All right. AEW news. In a surprise to nobody, CM Punk's producer, trainer, and longtime friend has been released from AEW again. He was first released after Brawl Out, where it has widely been reported that he bit Kenny Omega on the arm during the scuffle with CM Punk and was somehow rehired because CM Punk refused to come back to work without him. Many people believe that is why the initial announcement of Collision, CM Punk's own show, did not mention CM Punk, because he pulled this BS at the last second to force Tony Khan to rehire his buddy. So he's gone again.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah.
He bit him?
I mean, we'll
not
never
part of
know
the
for
rules of
sure,
Earth.
but I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, really, I believe everything I hear about CM Punk and him and his manager. Like, I believe it all at this point. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I believe it all. It's all true.
I'm totally down for him to sue me for defamation, because then maybe we can subpoena some people and find out what happened at
Right.
at Brawl Out.
I like
That's
it.
true.
Take it for the team.
Yeah.
And also, if it means Kenny Omega got injured, I totally believe it, because that's all Kenny Omega does is get injured.
Maybe Ace thought it
Now
was
he's getting bitten. He's got the screwdriver. He's got the tacks. Now he got bit in the arm. Makes perfect sense. Perfect
Ace still
sense.
might have thought it was a part of the show. He didn't know.
By the way, Koltrane, I thought of you watching AEW this week because what's his name?
Bandito?
Don Callis, his former manager.
Oh, wait, what?
Bandito.
I remind you of Don Callis?
No,
That's
no,
not good.
but Don Callis, because he was talking about Kenny Omega and how Kenny Omega is 0-7 since Don Callis left him. So it's actually part of the story that he can't win without Don Callis. And I felt like, okay, fine. There's something I can bring back to Coltrane and be like, you see?
Right. You keep talking about Kenny Omega as this amazing champion. All he does is get his butt kicked every week.
Yeah.
That's all I've seen.
So
That's all I've seen.
I know.
I even saw a video of him wrestling some 7-year-old girl. That was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was flipping him around like he was nothing.
She was very tough.
She was. That was
What
crazy.
about the blow up doll? Did you see that match?
No, I didn't see
He
the
won
blow-up
that
doll
one.
match. Oh, jeez.
He won that
Did
one.
he? Was he victorious?
It was close.
Yeah.
Dude, that blow up. I've seen a couple of those matches.
Yeah,
I bet you have. You've seen plenty of those matches, right?
Do it for the show. I study for the show.
Right. Most nights. Yeah.
Yes. Most nights.
Yes. As Manny said in the chat, it was a blowout. Yes, it definitely was. Yes. Thank you, Manny. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
All right. Last bit of news this week. Jack Perry, it is confirmed, remains suspended indefinitely. It is unclear if he's being disciplined for his role in Brawl In, or if it's just a formality, but he is still on the shelf. Now, there's been no reports that I've seen that have claimed that Jack Perry threw a punch, at least first. I'm sure he defended himself, but there's no reports that he instigated it. Now, he did instigate it in terms of getting in his face or getting heat. Well, I don't even feel right saying that. No, he was legitimately getting heat during the pay-per-view, and CM Punk got pissy about it because there's a double standard where CM Punk can do that to the Young Bucks and Adam Page, but Jack Perry can't do it to him.
Right.
I'm not biased.
I don't know. It's a little suspicious that he's still suspended. Why would he be? If everyone believes CM Punk is the bad guy, there's no reason for him to be suspended. Well, if it's an investigation, but everyone's there. What's the investigation for?
I don't know. This is one thing. Tony Khan does things and this is just like a really big difference between Tony Khan and wrestling in general, is he does things like in a modern, intelligent, logistical way. So like when people get in a fight, you have to suspend them while you figure out everything, and you got to dot your I's and cross your T's before you bring anyone back. The Young Bucks, who were cleared of any wrongdoing, as far as I know, were still suspended for like months after the brawl out. Yeah. Brawl out. So, but it is interesting. Like maybe something's going to come to light that he did a little bit more than we've been told.
And that's the problem. Tony Khan is trying to make it all smooth and keep it under the radar like a good manager, and I want chaos. Right. And he's not giving it to me.
You want anarchy.
Yeah, you want these old school guys that are,
I want Vince to tell me what happened and slap some people around.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Right. Well, I heard that Jack Perry had a flamethrower that he used in the locker room. An actual flamethrower. So yeah, he was getting heat. So there was that.
Jeez.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd he get that? Is that even legal?
I don't know about England. What's legal in England?
Rules are different over there.
Yeah, I think you can use a flamethrower, but you have to use it on the other side of the road.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, exactly. That is correct. Yeah, it was pretty intense over there. But Iron Grudge too, he said also you have to, or you're looking at favoritism. So I agree with Boots. I think Tony Khan is doing it right. You got to suspend everybody, you got to investigate, do all that stuff, and move forward from there. Especially how he got a flamethrower. So.
Wait, I'm just looking at the chat. Iron Grudge, were you when I was talking about how was it Ace Steel allegedly bit Kenny Omega's arm? You're saying it was the dog that he bit the dog?
No,
or that the dog bit Kenny Omega's arm.
You're saying Kenny Omega bit a dog?
There was a dog. There was a dog in the room.
What? Kenny Omega could. He was foaming at the mouth and he bit the dog.
I got it.
Double
or nothing.
Before I die, I hope one of these guys just one day comes clean and says exactly what happened in that room. Because
right. Yeah. No, it's got to come out at some point, right? In these old documentaries, like, well, let me tell you what really happened.
Yeah, like Dark Side of the Ring season 42. We'll hear all about it.
I can't wait.
Exactly. Wait. Set your TiVo to it. Right. We could go.
All right. Okay, well, this has been fun, but it's time to get to the main attraction of tonight, folks. We're going to try something a little different tonight.
Ooh.
We're going to talk a little bit about, we've been doing this for a little while now, and I feel like we've all gotten our feet wet. We have a somewhat of a sense of the lay of the land, as it were, for at least the two big companies. So what we've done is we've each brought a list of 5 wrestlers. Can be AEW, WWE, or both, or whatever, but 5 wrestlers that we think, and we're going to argue, should be world champion in the next 5 years. Now, we don't know each other's list. There's a very high probability that there's going to be some crossover here. So when that happens, we'll just say, hey, I picked that person too, and we'll go for it, and we'll just see how it goes. And I have a couple honorable mentions in case things run short, but that's never been a problem for us so far. So let's just assume we're not going to need those. But the one thing we didn't decide is who's going to go first. So is there any volunteers, first of all? If not, I can go first, I guess.
I can go.
All right.
My first one.
So just before you start,
Yes.
we're gonna let Tex make his case. If anyone else also picked this wrestler, they can make their case. And then if everyone agrees, it'll be kind of boring and we'll move on. Hopefully someone will disagree. And then we can argue about it. But let's talk it through. What do you first of all, you think they should win? When should they win? How soon should they win? If you have any thoughts on how they should win, we'd love to hear that. And yes, maybe at the end, I'm already seeing in the chat we've got some suggestions. Maybe we'll run through some of the chat suggestions at the end. But go ahead, Tex.
So, as my 5th, I put Montez Ford. I think he's clearly the A side of the Street Profits. And I think they want him to go solo. And I think he would be an amazing star. I don't think he's anytime soon, but I could see in 3 or 4 years,
I think Koltrane doesn't know who you're talking about.
Montez Ford?
I'm Montez. Dude, he has the presence. He's very likable. He has really good skills in the ring. He can talk. I think he has the whole package. He needs to break up. He needs to stop being a tag team.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to show up for a match in the last 2 months. I haven't seen him at all. Who's Montez Ford?
Now, they are setting up.
I saw him in a dark match.
Who the heck is Montez
Ford?
Okay,
so there's this tag team called the Street Profits, and when they come out, they drop all these red party cups when they come out. And lately they've been walking out in suits.
Right.
It's
sound like world champions already.
Yeah, it's an odd opening gambit for this program we're doing here, Tex. I don't know, man. I've heard a lot of people say what you're saying about him, but I haven't seen it personally.
It's the last few months hasn't been great. I think they were trying to build a story, but they haven't got there yet. I do believe it is about time for the tag team to break up because the tag team's kind of holding him down. I think it's time for him. He needs to go win a U.S. title.
Yeah,
and then eventually. But I'm not saying he's going to be champion a year. This is a 5-year.
Yeah, but
it's a 5-year plan here.
Yes.
Yeah, but dude, he's gonna have to prove himself as a singles wrestler before you decide to put a belt on him. There's too much unknowns here.
Hey, you got 5 years.
So
next 10 years.
You're gonna be using Montez Ford. I'm using Bandito. Like, this is ridiculous.
Come on.
I'm going with Bandito.
I had a lot of trouble narrowing my list down to 5, and Montez Ford was nowhere
on that list.
Wow. All right, the hate. I can't wait to hear your
top 5. Well, Boots, you wanted some controversy. You wanted some disagreements.
Yeah, you delivered, and we didn't have to worry about any doubles that time. Jesus.
All right. You know, I don't have to take this. I'm going to Warcraft for losers. They treat me like a god.
That's true. No one's beat you in a 1v1 in Warcraft. So
Nope.
that's right.
Good Lord. Okay. All
All right, Boots, who you got?
Okay. I got my list here. Now, first of all, I just want to preface this by saying that I decided not to include Cody Rhodes on my list because I don't think he should be champion in the next 5 years. He should be champion last April when they should have put the belt on him in WrestleMania 30.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. I thought I was over this. Oh, it's back. Oh.
It's I mean, let's put it this way. If they don't put a belt on him in the next year, then I don't know. It's just, I guess I'll just
he's going to win it from Roman Reigns.
I'll start supporting Montez Ford, I guess.
I mean, there's always Montez Ford.
All right. So my first on my list, and I decided to go with 3 AEW and 2 WWE. But the first on my list is Switchblade Jay White, the leader of Bullet Club Gold on AEW. I know that if you haven't been watching Collision, you might not have seen a lot of him lately. But here's the thing about Jay White. He is awesome. His faction is amazing. The Guns, everybody thought the Guns were so lame a year ago, and now they're just rocking it with Jay White and Juice Robinson. This faction is dynamite. They need to start putting some metal on this team. And Jay White is so he's got this unique thing on the mic. He's a great wrestler. So I'm not saying he's MJF, but he's got both of the big things you need, right? He's a great wrestler and he's great on the mic. And man, he just plays this totally unique character. And he was world champion for New Japan. So he's got the credential. They need to. I know that there's a lot of people in line for that belt, so I'm not saying he needs to get it like this fall, but in the next 5 years, maybe in a couple of years, Jay White needs a legit run as the AEW champion.
I personally should want to praise you for going on such a far limb, picking a guy who's already a top talent and came from being a world champion, instead of picking someone we wouldn't know. I praise you for that.
Like Montez Ford.
I might as well just put Cody Rhodes on my list. I mean, it's the same thing.
Jay White is not Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Jay White didn't have a year build up to winning the title from the most dominant faction.
There is a difference. Jay White has more championship gold than Cody already. I forgot about that part.
Look,
should I put Brock Lesnar on my list next?
You can put whoever you want on your list. There's nothing wrong with putting people who should win the title on your list of people who should win the title.
You're actually making me really feel bad about my list coming up. Holy cow, Tex.
Your list is going to be great.
Can we pass mine? Can we just move on from mine? I want to hear about your
crap from him. Don't take that crap from him.
Right. No, I'm not using anyone popular on my list.
By the way, for those of you, if you're not watching Collision, I get it. There's a lot of wrestling, and the Saturday night show is often the last on my list just because it's on Saturday nights, and that's tough. But oh my God, there's some really cool stuff going on with Bullet Club, and I can't wait now that it looks like Blackpool Combat Club is moving to Collision for the most part. I want to see these two clash. It's going to be awesome. And best tag team match of all time on television, according to Dave Meltzer, was Jay White and Juice Robinson, and I was there. So,
woo!
Credit to me.
Colt. What you got?
Okay, now you got to understand, gentlemen. You guys are pros. You know this stuff inside and out. You know the history. I don't know the history. I don't know these wrestlers. I might name somebody. They might already have been world champion. I have no idea. All right. I just don't know. Right. I just know them now. Now, here's a question. female wrestlers. I want to say Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley? Rhea?
Rhea Ripley?
Yeah.
Well,
but here's my question. Can women be world champion?
well, yeah.
Or is there a separate female world champion and male world champion?
Well, I mean, Coltrane, I don't know how to tell you this. Rhea Ripley is the world champion.
Oh, I thought she was the Intercontinental champion.
No.
All right. See, I told you right out of the gate. You know those moments in life when you wish you had a time machine and you could like go back? You know, even like 5 minutes. You know, a good fiver would be great right about now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Rhea Ripley. I think she should be champion, boys.
I mean, it's technically not against the rules to pick someone who already is champion.
That's right. That she should remain champion. That's what I was talking about. That's actually what I meant.
She should remain champion at some point in the next 5
remain
years.
champion. Let me start over. Let me just enter the 1.21 gigawatts. I just need this little bit more plutonium, and we'll go back to the future here.
Mm-hmm.
So, my first pick, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Now, it could be that I just came from Scotland.
Right.
All right. It could be that I might have some Scottish bias.
Well, you know, I'm with you because to my knowledge, Drew McIntyre has won the championship once, and it was a short run, and it was during the pandemic. So he's never really gotten a decent run, and he deserves it. He's got the build, he's got the look, he's got the persona. He is a legit, top of the card wrestler. So
yeah, he's larger than life. He's not Brock Lesnar, Tex, or Cody Rhodes, Tex.
I don't hate it.
All right. Okay, good.
I think that's a good pick.
There was a lot of people that were very upset that Drew McIntyre wasn't the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. He had that big match in Cardiff against Roman Reigns last year.
Right.
And it was widely believed that he was finally going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. And I actually think that was a mistake too, for them not to. They should have given it to Drew that night. It would have been amazing. And then they managed to somehow make an even greater moment for Cody Rhodes, but we all know how that ended.
Yes, that's very true. But I agree with everything Boots said. He's got the look, he's got the presence, he's got the next level, epic Titan God persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I didn't put in the news because the details are really scarce, but it sounds like he might not be in a tag team anymore in the near future. Matt Riddle, his tag team partner, is apparently got into some trouble at the airport over the weekend. That he might have been intoxicated and assaulted somebody or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I don't know what the details are. I actually don't even know if that's true. I shouldn't have even said that, but those are some of the rumors floating around. I'm not here to say that's what happened. I feel dumb now because I specifically kept it out of the news because I don't know what happened, and then I just blurted out what the scuttlebutt is.
Well, what we can do is we can edit that out, just like we'll edit out me saying Rhea Ripley. It's perfect.
Now,
all right, so we can edit that out. So, as I said, we'll pick it up right here. So so as I was saying, Drew McIntyre is my first pick. Drew McIntyre, boys.
As Iron is saying, he is turning heel, it seems. And I'm kind of real excited because I've never seen him heel. And he's got the big build, and as a heel character, I think he'd be really fun to watch. I'm actually really excited for him.
I think he seems to do well with whatever they give him. He also seems to be a victim of them constantly giving him new stuff, which is a WWE problem that happens to a lot of wrestlers. Like he had that great run with Sheamus. They play Sheamus and him were like a tag team for a while, and they were awesome. And I was like, these guys should win the belts, but they never did. And then they ended up fighting each other. But I'll take a heel turn if it's good. I don't think he needs a heel turn. I think he works great as a babyface, but I could see there being a bit of they have enough baby faces right now in WWE.
I kind of feel like he's flat as a babyface. At least they think he is.
Well, I could see him getting flat because he's had all these arcs that don't pay off.
Yeah.
Because
You're right.
because they want to keep the belt on Roman, basically. And then when he was in his tag team, they wanted to keep the belts on the Usos. So, well, good first pick, Koltrane.
Wink, wink. I appreciate you editing that out. Thank you, Boots.
Yeah, no problem.
Because you're totally going to do that, right? Right?
Yes.
Boots?
What?
You're going to edit that part out, right?
Hey, to defend the part we're editing out, she's only 26. So in 5 years, she's 31.
I love Rhea Ripley, man. I think she's phenomenal.
I'm going to give you don't. So it sounds like you don't quite, like you didn't get what the women's belts are in WWE.
Correct.
Yeah. So in WWE, there's two world titles. There's the WWE Championship, which Roman Reigns has, and then there's the World Championship, which Seth Rollins has.
Yes.
And in the women's division, it's the same. There's the WWE Women's Championship, which Io Sky has, and there's the Women's World Championship, which Ripley has.
So the only difference is the word world?
Well, I'm simplifying it, but in general, one is the WWE title and one is the world title.
That's ridiculous.
They want to have two world championships, one for each brand. So
I see. Like one for Raw, one for SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. But it's got to have the okay. All right.
So they're just slightly different named, right? One's the World Championship, one's the WWE Championship. And there's different conventions that happen, like right now, because it's Roman Reigns, they call it the WWE Undisputed Universal Champ, blah, blah, blah.
And that belt looks terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
How dare you?
But Seth's belt looks awesome.
All right,
I'm
Tex,
going
who's next?
to save this show. It's about time someone made a good pick. Besides my Montez Ford. That was a good pick.
Who? Sorry, go ahead.
This one was rough. I had between two AEW wrestlers. I went Darby Allin.
Darby Allin?
Wow.
And now I don't know what he's all done before. So if he's done something that he's never won the belt, right?
No.
Like early on. I didn't think so. I think of the four pillars, obviously MJF's the top one. I think he's the next guy. I find him entertaining. I think his mic skills are getting really good. And every time I see him, I'm entertained. And I don't think he's going to be I'm going to hold the belt for 2 years. I don't think he's going to be that kind of champion. But I think he can be your underdog champion for a good while. And I think I like him. I think he's a good choice.
Boy, I mean, Boots, you wanted controversy. I mean, just bring in Tex.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean,
my goodness gracious.
I mean, I love Darby Allin. But I gotta say, like, I just
wow. If
they put the belt on him, it's not that I'd be upset about it. He's just someone that doesn't occur to me.
Wow.
I feel like the four pillars storyline kind of concluded at Double or Nothing this year, and MJF walked away the champion, and I don't think any of the other three are. I'm not saying they're never going to be champion, but I don't think any of the other three kind of walked out of there with a destiny to be champion, if that makes sense.
He's the only one in the match I saw, but okay, I could see them making, eventually.
He's got to put on like 50 pounds of muscle.
This is, and I hate to be that guy, but I just feel like he is so small that it is a bit of a tough sell. And I don't want to say he can't because he's so small, because he does a lot of stuff that someone his weight you would never expect could do. He makes himself look like he's legitimately beating people that weigh 100 pounds more than him sometimes. So this is not a knock against him, but I'm just saying, like, that's a tough one to kind of wrap my head around in terms of like, I don't know. Like, what does that look like? Does he should he put on some muscle? Because both MJF and Cody Rhodes put on a lot of muscle in the year leading up to them kind of becoming top carders.
Yes. You need to, man. That's like Drew McIntyre. Like, you need to have that body size and shape.
Yeah.
Darby's too small.
He doesn't have, like, Drew McIntyre's got height, but I think we can say, like, you don't need height, right? Like MJF, Cody Rhodes, these guys don't have height. They're not super short, but they're not like, 6.5, 7 feet tall like some of these old school guys.
But
yeah,
I don't, like I said, I don't think he can be your long-term champion. It's going to be a Rey Mysterio thing where he's supposed to lose. He wins somehow. He holds the belt for 3 or 4 months, if that. And then some big monster is going to come, destroy him, and take the belt.
Okay. I'm not opposed to it. It didn't crop up on my list, but I wouldn't be upset if it happened. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I would feel happy for him if he won the belt. I feel like he deserves to have that belt, but I just feel like there's a lot of people that deserve it more. I don't know.
That's an outrageous choice, Tex. I'm sorry. He's way too small. He's a phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal talent. He's just too tiny. He's too tiny.
I should have put Rhea Ripley there.
There you go. Yes. Oh boy. You know what? I'm never gonna hear the end of this. But you know what? That's well deserved. You're right. You're right. I even said I don't know everything. All right. And now I'm going to be burned for it. But luckily, it's on the internet, and everything goes away on the internet.
Yeah, so people are generally pretty understanding on the internet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Was it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to pick an obvious one this time, and I didn't feel like I needed to announce that ahead of time till Tex gave me a hard time for picking Jay White. Like there's some sort of problem with picking.
Oh, great. 2 obvious ones. Really going on a limb.
I'm picking this one. First of all, I just assumed it was on both of your lists, and I thought we should talk about it. So let me talk to you. It's LA Knight. He obviously needs to be world champion in the next 5 years. And God, I hope this is the worry that they're going to let him beat Roman Reigns instead of Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
Because his star is rising. This is what happens when your timing's off, right? That'll be very disappointing if that happens, and I hope they don't do it. The guy needs a lengthy Intercontinental or U.S. Championship run first. That's what I'd like to see. But I think LA Knight needs to be in this list. He is definitely the most obvious person on my list, but I think it's, well, first of all, I really struggle with the WWE people. First, Montez Ford. Are you kidding me? But LA Knight is a guy that needs to be champion in. He can, if he's going to win the world championship, it can be in the next year. Although I'd prefer it to be in 2 years, but he can't take Roman's belt. Cody's got to take it.
That's true. Tex, I feel bad now. I'm feeling sympathy. I'm feeling empathy. Because I trashed you about Montez Ziggler, who?
Roman's.
And then
Ziggler.
Darby. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I can't remember the first person's name.
Well,
Montez Ford.
Let me tell you why.
The Model T.
Let me tell you why LA Knight is a horrible pick.
Ooh.
Because, when you gave me this, you said, champion the next 5 years.
Yeah.
LA Knight needs to be champion within the next year and a half.
He doesn't need to be champion within the next year and a half, but he needs to be champion within the next 2 years.
Okay. Well, 6 months. Are we really going to argue over 6 months?
I'll argue with you over 6 months because
he'll argue over 6 minutes.
My point is, it needs to be sooner than later, and that's why I picked more up and coming guys.
I think that LA Knight is a guy that is worth discussing here because he needs to win the belt, but he needs to win it after Cody, which means that Cody needs to run with it and Cody needs to lose it before he gets it, and Cody shouldn't lose it to LA Knight unless Cody turns heel, which I'm not opposed to. That could be cool. But yeah, Now, this is all assuming that he stays on SmackDown. Of course, he could go over to Raw and be in contention for that belt. But
Yeah.
in my mind, whenever I think of World Championship, in my mind in WWE, I'm always thinking of the WWE title, the one that's on Roman, because that is the one with the lineage, right? That's the one that has a history going back to the 1960s or something like that. Whereas the one that's on Seth has a lineage going back to Seth because they invented it earlier this year. Because the other belt that they were building a lineage from, they decided to merge with Roman Reigns' belt. So.
Now,
right.
Colt, tell us why you have Hulk Hogan on your hit list.
Because I think he should be champion. Have you guys heard of this guy, Hulk Hogan? He's this new and up and comer.
Hulk Hogan.
Tell you what, brother.
Yeah. He's got the pythons, right?
All right. So,
okay, here it is. Jake the Snake Roberts. All right. I think that he should be. All right. Now, here's the thing. So, next on my list, let's see here. Let's see. So, I can't do Bandito due to injury, right? So, we don't know if he's going to come back.
Well, in the next 5 years, he's not on the shelf for 5 years.
Well, that's true. That's true. And he was getting a bump up. You know what I mean? He was getting on fire, man. He was starting to look like a piece of burnt toast. You know what I mean? I mean, he was going, right? Mm-hmm. He was en fuego. I was loving Bandito, and then he got injured. So I can't go with Bandito. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Christian Cage. Christian Cage. Now, this sounds insane. A, he's old, right? Not great. B, he doesn't really have the body type, although he's bigger than Darby. But C, he's a great heel. A great heel champion. Horrible person. I mean, not in real life, but his character.
Let me clarify something. Do you mean that Christian Cage himself should win the title, or should Luchasaurus win the title and Christian Cage carry it around?
Yeah. That's actually better. That's actually what I meant. Time machine again. Because Luchasaurus is Luchasaurus. Yeah, no, that's strong because I do associate the two of them together. But I'm just saying Cage, I think, has really great presence. It's an insane pick. I get it. He's old. It makes no sense whatsoever. But I was just so thrown by Model T and Darby that I had to throw out Christian Cage.
Model T.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't
heard him.
I love Christian Cage. He is one of my favorite wrestlers working today. I don't see that happening.
It's never happening ever. Well, so can I give you another outrageous one?
Yeah, if you want, sure.
I'm just gonna skip. Big Bill.
Interesting.
Big Bill.
I mean, I don't know. I never saw this guy's WWE career, so I don't really know what he's capable of. He's been a pretty quiet dude on AEW so far, but and he's currently aligned with Ricky Starks. He's Ricky's kind of henchman, but right. I mean, I'm open to it. I think I'd need to see what kind of promo this guy can cut. He
hasn't really done any mic skills, and he wears a big pair of Levi's. That's about it for Big Bill.
And usually has a lollipop.
That's true, but that's really all you need to be world champion. Yeah. So those are my two bad ones. I just wanted to get out of the way, and then we're going to move on to Tex. But those are my two bad ones I just wanted to throw out there, back to back. Tex, what do you got?
Well, Tex, do you have an opinion on Big Bill?
No, because no one knows who that is.
Oh my gosh.
So.
That's true. I mean, I did know the person that made the first automobile. I did know that person, so you're right.
You're gonna regret that in like 4.5 years. I'm gonna be like, look, I told you.
Right. When Montel Williams is champion, you're right. You're right. Then I'll know.
So my third one,
talk show host to champion.
My third one is my favorite woman wrestler, Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh.
I think she's a great wrestler. I think I like the way she looks. I think she gets the physique. They like the big, strong women. She's big and strong. I think the only issue is that she kind of has the same body type as uh, Ripley. So they, sometimes they don't like to have like the same kind of champion on both shows, which could hurt her.
But they can move her, right? She
They
can
could.
go over.
But
And Rhea Ripley's not going to be champion forever.
right, and she could be someone that could beat Ripley.
Yeah,
that because she does have the strength advantage, or at least equal to. I do think it's probably going to be a little while before it happens, but she's already on the top of the card for the women.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Tex, I really like this pick.
yeah, it's a good one.
It's
a good one
because she just had a title shot at the last pay-per-view, right? She lost, and apparently she's getting a rematch tonight on Raw, which we're not watching because we're recording this, which is annoying, but that happens. But I think she's at that point in her career where she's getting title. She's got a title shot on a pay-per-view, but it's not her time yet,
Yeah.
So it's like it's we're bubbling up a bit, but I think like she's I didn't follow her on NXT, but I think I've been seeing her pretty much since she came to the main roster. And I would say like I've personally witnessed her like getting better at her craft, both on the mic and in the ring as time goes on. So I feel like in a couple years, yeah, she's a great contender.
Yeah. And she's jacked. You're totally right.
Yeah.
She's the same size as Ripley. You're totally right.
You just need to get her away from Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan's going to take her down. Sorry. Liv Morgan's not a good talent.
Well, I mean,
I've said it.
You just went out of your way to just take a dump on Liv Morgan.
No, look.
Oof. Wow.
Look.
My goodness.
She needs to stay away from the tag team division.
Texas Steamer.
And just stay solo. Tag team division is the death of women wrestling.
There it is.
All right.
The old Texas Steamer.
Get them digs in.
There it is.
Can I have that time machine?
You can borrow mine.
I hope that if any actual wrestler listens to this episode, that it's Liv Morgan.
Yes. Perfect.
What if I was her favorite?
And Liv, if you're listening, we love you. Tex's views do not represent the show. They only represent him.
Correct.
We're big fans.
Huge.
We'd love to interview you.
When she was doing,
we'll let you say whatever you want to Tex.
When she was doing her crazy little like, oh, I'm crazy. I enjoyed that, but then they just kind of stopped doing it.
Well, I think I've said this before, but this is kind of like a trope, and I'm not gonna let AEW off the hook with this either because they're guilty of it too. But wrestling in general does this thing where like they're not sure what to do with women, so they book them as crazy. She's a crazy woman. And like almost every woman who's ever wrestled has had to at some point be the crazy woman. She's hysterical. Lock her up, boys. like
we got one who's going to spray squid ink out of her mouth.
I do feel like
I
have to point out that like a notable exception to that is Toni Storm's current character, which is amazing. She's playing like someone who's totally losing her grip on reality, but not in just like a shallow like I'm crazy. Like she's oh my god. I wanted to put her on the list, but I decided I wasn't going to put anybody on the list that had just been champion. So but Toni Storm is like my favorite on the women's roster right now. All right, well, your first two were bit of a nosedive, but you kind of pulled up right before you hit the mountain there with Raquel Rodriguez. So good job.
It gets better. It gets better too. Just wait.
All right, my third choice. And if I don't know this guy's history in WWE. I don't know if he was champion. So don't give me your crap if he was. But it's Miro. Miro the Redeemer, who by the way had this amazing bit on All Out when his wife came out, as he refers to his hot and flexible wife came out, and
what?
That's what, in all his promos when he refers to his wife, he always refers to her as my hot and flexible wife. And
Sweet.
Who text tells me was a WWE wrestler under a different name. She goes by CJ Perry now.
I thought you were going to say a text tells me he is quite flexible. That's what you were going to say. I was like, wow.
Hey, no, my wife listens to the show.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I did not say that.
She came out after All Out, and they started this whole angle of like Miro saw her, and he's like, "No, you're not here. You're not real. You're not real." So he's like playing this whole line, and then she did a promo, like a pre-recorded promo on Collision this week, and she can cut a promo, man. I don't know.
Awesome.
I never saw her WWE stuff, but like I'm excited to see where this story goes. Like it's gonna be good. But yes, no, Miro needs to be the dominant champion for like a year on AEW. You know what? I would like to see him take the belt off MJF at some point. Like I think it probably should be Adam Cole, but they've kind of teased that and he didn't win it. So maybe not Adam Cole. I don't know. But like I want Miro to get pushed to the moon, and I want him to be a dominant champion and just defend. Like he had a great match against Hobbs at All Out. And yeah, I just love this guy. He might be my favorite guy right now.
He's got great presence too, like great presence.
Yeah.
Do you know why he has great presence? Because he's already a main eventer, just like every one of Shu's picks.
Oh,
staying in the box.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong, Boots. He's not wrong.
None of my guys that I've mentioned so far as I can think of, have challenged for the titles in their current runs. They're not main eventers.
They came over as main eventers. I mean, they might not be in a main event now, but they're still main eventers.
Well, what's the standard here? Like if they main evented Stampede Wrestling in Calgary?
I'm picking these guys and women who are up and comers, who are just going to be the future of the company, and you're picking these old farts.
No, Miro is the future of AEW.
He's 78.
That's pretty old. That's pretty old, Boots.
No, he's not.
That's older than Christian Cage.
That's
not easy.
Okay, here, I'm Googling this. How old is Miro?
That's like Kenny Omega range.
Miroslav Petrov Barnyashev. Sorry, pulling up the Wikipedia.
1920.
Oh boy.
He's 37.
Same thing.
Yeah.
He's 37. He's younger than LA Knight.
That's why LA Knight needs to be 2 years.
Don't you talk about LA Knight.
Yeah.
He's mid to late 30s. He's perfect. He's at the perfect age for a totally dominant run. You're so full of it, man.
So can you go
Montez
before
Ford.
we just keep fighting?
All right. I can't say Adam Cole because I just personally, and maybe it's just me, guys, I don't think he's got the presence. He's over the crowd, Adam Cole, baby, but for some reason he doesn't have the pop for me. Does he pop for you guys?
Not as a babyface.
No.
Has he been a heel before?
He's mainly been a heel.
You're a kid. What? Adam Cole?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
All right. Okay, well then I'm going to go to my pick, Hangman. I'm going Hangman.
Hangman. Yeah.
Because he's got an eye patch, and that's just awesome.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? That's all you need. I'm going Hangman.
That's why Hook is going to win too.
Yes, that's why Hook and Hangman are going to be champions.
So
no,
I think you're right. I think he will win the belt again, but he did have a championship run.
He was,
but you don't know that.
No, I don't know that. All right, well, I'm gonna get another one. All right, ready? I was gonna say, okay, Gunther.
Guys, we've got our first match. Gunther is on my list.
Yeah,
Gunther is my top WWE pick for someone that should be world champion in the next 5 years.
Here we go. All right.
He is not on my list.
I feel justified. Now I feel like I'm part of the group now. Oh my gosh, I picked the same one as Boots.
And not only that, but I think Gunther is going to be world champion sooner than later. Like, I think now he's beat that record. Now they're going to find a time to take his title off him in a way that doesn't make him look weak. We'll see what happens. And I think possibly as soon as next year, he could be the guy that takes that belt off Seth Rollins for all we know.
Wow.
The reason he's not on my list is the same thing for LA Knight. I agree. He's going to be champ within the year, I think. So I put people more in the future.
Oh,
and I think he's now. So that's why I didn't put him. So I think he's a good pick. I just didn't put him on my list.
Well, he's got to be better than Michelangelo. Whatever the
Montez Ford.
Now,
with Montez Ford. Oh, that's right. I thought it was Michelangelo.
My second pick, it's funny because you picked Gunther. I originally had Chad Gable. I originally had him.
Shush.
But then shush, please.
Yeah.
But in the middle of talking, I was like, I forgot about Solo.
Solo Sikoa.
I took off Chad Gable. Solo Sikoa is my number 2 pick. I mean, his lineage is all champions. He has the perfect build. He plays the good villain. I mean, he has everything you want for a villain monster character. So there's no way he's not going to be champ in the next 5 years.
You know, I like this pick, and I think that, like, in a world a couple years down the road where this bloodline story is kind of behind us, I think he could really have a chance to shine. He's a little bit untested on the mic because he's a generally quiet guy, but I don't know, it could work.
I don't think you need to put a mic in front of him. I think he needs to be like in an Umaga, where
Paul Heyman could stick with him, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
I've never really heard him speak. He just kind of glares.
Yeah, it's
a lot
rare.
of looks and glares.
He's kind of like Silent Bob. Like he only speaks once in the movie, and it's poignant when he does. But like right.
In fact, I don't think I've actually ever heard him speak. I've heard him go. Ah! I've heard him do that.
Yeah, he does that, and he goes a little cross-eyed when he does it.
Yeah.
Yes, true. I've seen him go cross-eyed a lot before he does his big move. But have you guys actually heard him speak?
Yes, he did speak at a very, what seemed like an important moment at the time. But when Jey Uso was going to leave, and he basically said that he's loyal to his brother or something. He just at this one point when they were kind of teasing, is the bloodline going to break up? He did speak and said that he said to Roman Reigns, "You're my tribal chief, but he's my brother," or something like that.
So he did speak. Now, was it when he spoke? Was it like a Brock Lesnar moment?
No, he spoke. He was like,
how was his voice? You know what I'm saying?
His voice was fine.
You know what I'm saying about Brock Lesnar, all right? You know what I'm saying?
No, it was not.
You know what I'm saying?
He didn't sound like a bad guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He sounded like
exactly. Damn.
I don't even want to say that. I live one province over from Brock Lesnar. I could conceivably run into him gassing up on the way to visit my grandma. I don't want to insult Brock Lesnar.
True.
Smart. You never know.
Yeah.
You'd see him coming, though. The guy is a massive. I mean, my gosh, he's the beast. He's literally a beast.
Yeah.
But when he speaks, he's got a lot of yeast. Doesn't make sense. I don't know what that means. But I don't know. His voice was a little bit higher pitched than what I expected. You know what I mean?
I'm interested. It's interesting that you had this different take than I did, Tex, where you're like all of your picks are people that are like, well, maybe. And some of them I'm more keen on than others. Whereas I kind of went like, these are people that like they've already got the receipts to prove that they should be.
Yeah, we took the list definitely. We did different paths for sure.
Right. And I went with people that are currently the actual champions. That's what I went with. I definitely took it a whole nother way.
Yeah,
I went a whole nother way with this.
Yeah,
one.
Unpredictable.
Yes, completely different direction. You want a controversy, Boots?
You're honey badgering this one.
Yes.
All right, Shu, what you got?
All right, are we down to the nitty gritty? Because I already had a double. I've only got one left. So before I reveal this,
one left.
You got one left. Colt, do you have any left?
Yeah, I've got plenty.
You got there Roman Reigns.
I got Roman Reigns.
He might be right.
Roman Reigns, guys, just hear me out. Beer. Yeah, just hear me out. All right, go on, Boots. What do you got, buddy?
My last pick is my least likely, but my most favorite pick of the night. He is a man that deserves all of our respect, both in and out of the ring.
CM Punk.
The Mad King, Eddie Kingston, deserves to be world champion in the next 5 years.
Wow.
I love Eddie Kingston, and I know that Koltrane has had very limited exposure to him because he's been on hiatus for most of the time that Coltrane's been paying attention, and most of his big matches since he came back have happened while Koltrane was in Scotland. So
right.
I get that you haven't seen much of him, but oh man, Eddie Kingston is the guy. I love this guy. I don't think he'll ever be world champion, but he should be world champion. He should be. And man, this guy can cut a promo. Man, love Eddie Kingston.
What do you think, Tex? I mean, Eddie Kingston? I don't really know this guy.
I've only seen him a few times, so I really don't have an opinion on him.
What?
I don't. I've only seen him a few times since he's been back, like once or twice.
Oh my God.
You got nothing on Eddie Kingston?
No.
How do you have dude?
He's that unknown and no one cares about him. So why would I know about him?
You know who knows about him? Iron Grudge in the chat knows about him.
That's right.
Iron Grudge. Even if you do, say you don't.
He's already said it's a good call. No, anyone that
He's talking
knows
about-
He did say it's a good call.
anyone that knows what's what knows that Eddie Kingston should be the champion, but anyone that knows what's what also knows that he probably will never be champion because the guy's got a big pot belly and he openly talks about how like, yeah, I could probably get a push and be like in the world champion scene if I got in shape, but I'd rather eat burgers.
I like the guy. I agree with the list now. I like that guy.
He is, I mean, of all the wrestlers with a pot belly, he's the one that really sells himself as a tough guy, though, which can be an uphill battle when, yeah. Anyways, I love Eddie Kingston. He currently holds, I think, a New Japan belt, but
Yeah,
world
New
title,
Japan champion.
Yeah, he's had a good run in New Japan this year. That's why he's been away. He's been kind of on trade to New Japan. So, and he did a Ring of Honor run before that. So, yeah, okay. Well, that's my last pick, and I think that those were the best picks so far.
I have the best one still, and it's a guarantee.
Is it the other guy in Street Profits?
No. No. Colt, what's your last pick here?
I think I know.
All right. You think you know? What do you think it is? I guarantee you don't.
I think I know what Tex's last pick is.
I see. All right. Well, this one, my final pick is going to be universally hated by everyone. But I'm taking a page from Tex's book as far as up and comer, right? We're talking in the next 5 years. All right. Not now, in the next 5 years. Somebody that's got talent on the mic, also in the ring, but is still in development, but getting better. My last pick is
Sting.
The Miz. The Miz. Yes, you heard it here right. The Miz. I told you. It's either that or Logan Paul, and it's not going to be Logan Paul, all right? I don't like The Miz. I do not like The Miz. But he's good on the mic. He's getting better in the ring. He's got a little bit of that. He pops. Boots seems upset. Tex is just standing there with his mouth open. I don't know how to read that.
This is what I say about Miz. I feel like as wrestling fans get older, you appreciate the Miz for what he's done more and more. He's not a bad choice for if you're just trying to get the belt off a good guy to another good guy.
All right.
But I think his time as the main event guy is over.
So he's old.
Yeah, he's older guy.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
over.
is he? I thought he was a young guy.
No.
I think he was champion in like 2016 or something.
What? Oh, geez.
Yeah,
All right. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. All right.
Yeah.
Cody
Yeah, there we go.
Rhodes. All right.
That's not on
I
my
think
list.
he's going to be champion.
Uh,
I didn't know that about The Miz. I didn't know he was older. In fact, even Iron Crush in the chat, Coltrane calls it many years too late. There it is. Yes. I told guys, I don't know the history. All right.
That's
I'm
okay.
brand new.
That's
I'm 2
okay.
months in. I'm
The
2
Miz-
months in.
the Miz is a guy.
After 30 years.
Basically, the Miz is a guy that is kind of at the end of his career now and is being well used to push younger talent.
Got you. Wow.
And
Okay.
he's
He was
a-
champ in 2010.
Yeah.
Was it 2010?
I
Jeez.
think
You're
he's had the
kidding.
belt twice, I think. I think he's won it twice.
What? How
Yeah.
old is The Miz?
Well, he was in the first
Let's Google
season
it.
of the Real World.
What?
Yeah, he came as
He's
kind
not
of a
that-
celebrity.
He's 42. He's not that old.
Oh,
He
that's
came-
old.
So he kind
Better
of
not
joined
be.
as a celebrity and
Yeah.
just never left.
Luckily, I'm 22. I'm not 42. Luckily.
Jeez,
So-
you're getting old.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's the thing about the Miz is he has done something.
Wow.
I don't want to take a dump on the Miz because he's done something amazing. He's managed to carve out a space for him all these years later, where most other wrestlers past their prime just fade away. But he because he's so good at them on the mic, he manages to come out. Like I looked at his win-loss record this year is 2-16, but he manages to come out and present himself as a main eventer every
Hey,
week.
he
So-
fooled me. I thought he was a main eventer. He fooled me as somebody that's just watching for the first time. I thought he was a young guy. I thought he was like a main event guy. I thought he's great on the mic. I thought he was decent in the ring.
Oh my God, we got to tell Coltrane. Did you
I'm
know
telling
that
you.
The Miz had his own reality show?
Is it the real world?
No, I think it's called Miz and Mrs. Is that right?
Yeah, it's still going. I think they're on their third season or something.
Oh my gosh.
This is right up your alley, Coltrane.
Well, hey, sign me up, right? I'm already a fan, right? I got to get on the Miz and Mrs.
Yeah.
I need updates. All right. Now for the best person.
Here we go.
Now, this one is a guarantee, 100% locked in. One day will be the champion for a long time. You know who it is, Shubitz?
I wrote down what I think you're going to say.
All right, so you got to write it down. It's Braun Breaker.
I didn't write that down.
Oh,
Who's
kinda
Braun Breaker?
I wrote down
He's-
Randy Orton.
You know, I was going to make that joke, but I was like, we're a little big on time, so let's not do that. Braun Breaker is an NXT star right now, so he's in the lower promotion, but
It's-
he's the Brock Lesnar of them.
Yeah, I know nothing about this guy except that everyone is abuzz about his future in WWE. So it's not I can't fault the call.
Great name, by the way. Braun Breaker?
Yes.
My-
So his dad is one of the Steiner brothers.
This is my issue with his name is that like give him his name. Everyone knows that he's a Steiner. Why are you giving him the last name Breaker?
Because it goes with Braun.
Call him something else. Like
Why not? It's Braun Breaker. It
because
works.
everybody knows
It's alliteration.
it's like when The Rock's daughter joined NXT, they initially gave her a different last name and everyone was like, that's stupid. So they dropped it. They should do that with Braun Breaker as well.
Braun Breaker is buxom bulbous brochacho that brings branded bombs
All
and
right.
brazen
Call
beatings
him,
with
call
unbelievable
him
bites.
Braun the Breaker.
Braun Breaker is not a bad name. I kind of like it.
Braun
Breaker's
Breaker.
a great name. It's
Now,
a great name.
he's doing this thing on NXT now where he's just destroying people. I think he just killed a guy on the end of an episode and they like went to black. It was really
Wow.
cool.
Took his head off.
Like he like had the stairs and like stomped on his head and the show just ended. So they're doing
Jeez.
really
I
cool,
mean,
fun stuff with
Like
them.
the Sopranos?
Yeah, exactly.
NXT is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Pretty Deadly. Did you see how they went out? How their last show on NXT?
I
They were
thought-
literally murdered. They were tied to chains and thrown into the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
and then they showed up on SmackDown.
Yep.
Wow.
I like what you said. They should have came in wet.
Yeah. What a missed opportunity. They killed them off by drowning in NXT, and then 2 weeks later they show up on SmackDown. They should have come out just soaking wet.
Oh
Like,
my God. That's insane. They've risen. That's
Braun-
hilarious.
When Braun comes full time on the main roster, he will be presented as the new Brock Lesnar. And you know he's going to get the title ASAP. That's why I think
That'd be a mistake, but you're probably right.
I don't think so. I think that's why he's still in NXT, because he's already got a name and he already has the skills. They're just waiting for the right time and just getting him.
You know what? I agree they're taking their time with him in NXT. I just hope they take their time with him on the main roster too. Like, you don't need to like throw this guy to the top of the card right out of the gate because there's nowhere to go but down after that.
I don't know, man, because you did that with Brock and he just stayed at the top though.
I mean, we'd have to go back, but I don't seem to recall Brock entering at the top of the card.
If he wasn't at the top, he was the top half. If you want to say that, sure.
Yeah.
I still think Braun Breaker will win the Royal Rumble, and that's how he enters the main event. I'm calling it.
Brock Breaker?
Pretty much.
Brock
Breaker?
Braun Lesnar.
Braun Lesnar.
And that's the match I want to see.
It's all B words.
That's what I want to see. I want to see Braun Breaker beat Brock, and he needs to beat Brock badly.
You want to see Braun Breaker beat Brock
Braun Breaker beat Brock
in a big brawl.
In a big brawl. With bulbous brochachos,
right.
branded Brahms and brazen beatings.
We need to change the name. Well,
that's insane.
I clearly had the best list.
No.
I think it's got to be me. It's mine. It's clearly mine.
I mean,
clearly.
Koltrane's does have the most champions on it.
Mine has the most guaranteed champion of anyone.
Hey, I did have on my honorable mention Ricky Stark.
He was on my honorable mention list too.
Yeah.
My other honorable mention, which I left off because I decided not to go with any former champions, is I thought Kenny Omega should get another championship run in AEW because he was a pandemic champion. But
I wrote down Omega as well.
Yeah. I'm sure you did.
I did.
I wrote the current champion. He fought.
Okay, chat real quick. I know you've been typing them out, but if you got any call outs that you'd like to add to the list before we sign off here, I think I remember seeing Manny call Chris Statlander, which I thought was a good call. I think that's a good choice.
Iron said Cody. I think we all expect Cody to have it in April. So
yeah, of 2023, we all expect Cody to have it in April of 2023,
unless Braun Breaker wins it and fights it.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Braun Breaker beats Brock Lesnar.
Anyone who listens to the show, you're gonna hate me if they don't put that belt on Cody next year.
Oh,
you think this is bad?
Oh, please. I can't. Please.
Kofi Kingston? The New Day is like, I know who they are, but their entire career is kind of like from a time that I don't watch wrestling. So I really can't say much about the New Day except I enjoy their antics on the Royal Rumble. That's, yeah.
Iron Grudge, Tiffany Stratton.
She is the current NXT Women's Champion. I don't know much about her except that she's the NXT Women's Champion.
Has she fought Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. They're renaming her Brittany Bratton.
Exactly.
Dude, I can't wait 4 years when we're on episode
so many B's
1,000, and I'm just going back down this list and just telling y'all how great I am.
It's true. We got to remember this. Episode 21.
Yeah.
How old Shoe Boots and I both are? 21.
Yeah.
21 years old.
All right. Okay. This has been fun. I enjoyed this. I think we should do more stuff like this. This is fun. But we do have to wrap it up. So we are going to wrap it up. However, one of the reasons we did this is because I kind of screwed up, and we went off the air last week without me having any thoughts on what we're going to do next week. So we kind of had to come up with something that required no homework. So there it was. But this week we do have some homework because next week is going to be a very special episode. In fact, it might even spill over to another episode depending. But next week we are finally going to talk to Koltrane about Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette's name has come up several times during this podcast, and whenever Koltrane looks at it, we always have to be like, it's too much to talk about. We'll have to talk about it sometime. Well, next week we are going to talk about it. So here's the homework, folks. If you want to follow along, we are going to listen to an episode of Jim Cornette's podcast, and I'm going to warn you, Koltrane. We're going to go with, I'm going to go with the latest episode. He's got 2 podcasts. We're going to go with the latest episode of the Jim Cornette Experience, which is episode, write this down at home. It's in our show notes for you guys. Episode 498. And we could wait a few days for the next one to come out, but I'd rather just pick an episode that you could start on tomorrow if you want, because I don't know what day of the week he releases episode. And his episodes are typically between 4 and 5 hours long.
Wow.
So the good news is it's audio. You can listen while you're doing other things. But I wanted to give you plenty of time to break this up into a few sessions if you don't have that block, because I looked at it. Episode 498 of the Jim Cornette Experience is 4 hours and 13 minutes. He will be reviewing Payback and All Out, the 2 pay-per-views that just happened last weekend. So you could choose to watch those as well if you think that'll enhance the experience, or you could say, you know what, there's only so many hours in the day. I'm just going to listen to what this guy has to say. But
hey, I'm all in, man. Whatever we need to do for this Jim Cornette fella, we're going to do it.
I am going to...
Apparently he's pretty famous. That's the vibe I'm getting here.
I don't want to give you too much about him because I don't want to taint your experience.
Right. That's good.
I will tell you this. He is a very controversial figure, both within the industry and within the fandom. He is, I think it's safe to say, by far the most popular wrestling podcaster, period. And,
fantastic.
He is very opinionated, and you will find out very quickly what he thinks about a lot of things. I haven't heard this yet, but I'm going to predict that that's the case.
In fact, me not even knowing him is probably controversial.
Yes. Now
he's probably pissed off about that.
Now he's the famous guy, but he all of his podcasts he's co-hosts with another guy named Brian Last. So I'm not going
to listen to Brian first.
Yeah.
I'll save that for last.
I will give you one spoiler about Brian Last. He's a piece of shit. So
well, okay. All right. That's just cutting right to it.
I know nothing about him personally. He might be a nice guy, but in the context of the podcast, this guy is a piece of work. And I am interested to see. Some people don't like this, but another thing you need to know about Jim Cornette is his fans are pretty rabid, to the point that if one of them catches wind that I just said that about Brian Last, we might get a big jump in listens next week and a huge influx of just super hate on Twitter. So
fantastic.
You don't think I'd be sending some bad X's your way?
Yeah.
There's so many X's, right? Right.
Anyway, so I think that for those of you that know who Jim Cornette is, I mean, I haven't heard this episode, so I don't know if it's the best pick, but I think it's going to be really fun to talk about this with Koltrane and really get into some of the nitty gritty of the fandom. Something we haven't talked about a ton here on the show, but there's this whole world, just like everything on the internet these days, there is this whole world of fandom that is tribalist and argues with each other, and everyone thinks they're an expert, and everyone is micro analyzing every little bit of minutia. And this guy is a cornerstone in that world. So
fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. I like big personalities. I like big people. So this is fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. This will be great.
Cool. Well, then we're gonna wrap it up there then, folks. This has been fun. Welcome back, Koltrane.
Thank you.
Tex, please top Coltrane's entrance. Or yeah, let's call it your entrance. That's more wrestling.
Ooh, I like entrance.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want you to top Coltrane's. You keep talking about how if you just would have put in the time, you would have kicked Coltrane's ass in the entrance.
I worked hard on mine today.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe get on Fiverr and get a writer to, you know.
Oh, I have a great idea that you'll find out on next episode.
There it is.
Cliffhanger.
Woo!
All right.
Cut to credits.
Chat, as always, thanks. You've been awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you next week. And I think we're now recording Mondays, right? We're just, for the foreseeable future, we're just going to record Mondays. I know we've been kind of skipping back and forth Sunday and Monday for those of you that tune in. So thank you for staying with us and being flexible. We will try to be more dependable for you. But that's going to do it. Folks, for me, for Colt, and for Tex, later, losers!